will begin the first round of panel discussion now. The first session will be based on the topic Inclusiveness in Digital Literacy, Participatory Approach in Communication. Let's listen to a brief profile of our eminent panel of speakers.
Dr. Aditya Kumar Shukla is a media education professional with 12 years of experience in teaching, research, administration, and industry, with an educational background of a doctorate in journalism and mass communication. Presently, he is working as an associate professor of media studies at the Directorate of Online Education, Manipal University, Jaipur. Before this assignment, he had an opportunity to work with MRIIRS Faridabad, IMS Unison University Dehradun, Amity University Madhya Pradesh, APG Shimla University Himachal Pradesh, Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya Haridwar, and Dainik Jagran Bareilly. During these assignments, he worked as a program coordinator and a member of the Board of Studies, Academic Council, research committees, examination committees, and discipline boards. He has worked as the founder editor of the Journal of Content, Community, and Communication, a Scopus Index journal. As an editor, he has edited 6 reference books. As a writer, he published 17 research papers with 63 citations, one authored book, and approximately 40 editorial articles. He has attended almost 40 conferences, faculty development programs, and workshops as chairperson, paper presenter, attendee, and resource person. He is a member of IAMCR, the International Communication Association, Vijnana Bharati Creative Commons Global Network, and GNI India Training Network on fact checking. He's a reviewer of Health Communication, Taylor and Francis Journal, Sage Open, Journalism and Media, MDPI Journal, and a few journals of Common Ground research networks. Professor Anubhuti Yadav is head of the Department of New Media and course director of Advertising and Public Relations at Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi. She also holds the responsibility of Dean Students Welfare. She is member of Executive Council and Academic Council. She teaches new media, data journalism, advertising, and public relations. She has conducted research in areas like media literacy, women and media and children, information and communication technology, and new media, and has presented papers at various national and international conferences. She is the co-author of Indian edition of Media Literacy, Key to Interpreting Media Messages, developed under Digital International Media Literacy Project. She has authored a book on new media journalism. She's advising Facebook on their digital literacy project and working closely with Google on their Google News Initiative training network in India. She's a certified trainer on fact checking and verification. She has conducted workshops on fact checking and verification for journalists, media educators, and media students. She's also a member of technical committee on Pradhan Mantri Digital Saksharta Abhiyan. She has received Innovative Use of ICT in Education Award during the ICT Conclave on Education in 2016, organized by Dell, Public Relations Society of India Award for contribution to mass communication education in 2018, Women of Excellence Award by Women Economic Forum, and Web Wonder Women Award by the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare for using Twitter to create awareness on fake news and misinformation. Professor Anubhuti Yadav holds an MSc degree in journalism and mass communication and obtained her PhD in mass communication from Guru Jambeshwar University, India. Her doctoral research examined the impact of exit polls and opinion polls on voters. Dr. Bhavna Pathak is a media academician and voiceover artist by profession, media literacy and social activist by passion, Fakshala trainer, founder of Media Dictionary Initiative, and council member of the Global Media Education Council. She completed her graduation from the University of Delhi, followed by her PG diploma in Hindi journalism from the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, and did her MPhil in media studies at Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. She did her PhD in the area of media literacy from Makhanlal Chaturvedi University, Bhopal. Dr. Bhavna has been in media academics since 2016, teaching graduate and postgraduate media students in the Department of Mass Communication at the Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. She also worked in radio industry with private FM radio stations and as a freelance journalist for many reputed newspapers. She is also the founder of the audiovisual multilingual media dictionary in 30 regional languages and dialects, along with English and French, for encouraging people to practice media literacy in their day to day lives. Dr. Bhavna has been actively taking workshops and classes for media students on communication and has presented and published research papers at several national and international conferences.
Dr. Keval J. Kumar. Dr. Keval J. Kumar is a former reader and head of the Department of Communication and Journalism, Pune University, former professor and director at Symbiosis Institute of Media and Communication, and former senior lecturer in English at Parley College, Mumbai. He has also taught at Ohio State University, Seagan University, Jacob University, Bremen, Bahrain Technical Institute, Flame University, and IIM Indore. He holds a doctorate from the University of Leicester. He is the author of Mass Communication in India, Media Education, Communication and Public Policy, an Indian Perspective, and co author of Environmentalism and the Mass Media, The North South Divide. He has contributed entries to three international encyclopedias of communication and over 75 research papers to edited books and academic journals. He was chair of the Media Education section of International Association of Media and Communication Research from 1998 to 2006 and chief advisor to NCERT for Media Studies in 2004. He is a member of the Board of Studies for Media and Communication Studies, SP Pune University, and an associate member of Orbicom. His research interests include communication theory, media education, cultural studies, political communication, and religious communication.
Lai Sheng Wong is a media and communication educator with nearly 15 years of combined work experience in publishing, media, corporate communication, and policy advocacy. At CMEO exam, she supports the center's knowledge management and capacity building initiatives for teachers and promotes international and regional cooperation in education development in the CMEO member countries. As a passionate educator, she also actively contributes to the development of media and information literacy regionally and globally through her speaking, consulting, and publishing work. As an MIL advocate, she focuses on developing the MIL skills and competencies of teachers and teacher educators to create a multiplier effect while actively advocating for media and information literacy in the public discourse and classroom meetings. In 2020, she co organized a network of MIL and education advocates from Malaysia and Philippines. She helped establish partnerships to conduct a series of webinars, workshops, and tech camps to train teachers and teacher educators across the Southeast Asia region on a multidisciplinary approach to MIL and digital literacy. She is currently engaged in an MIL bootcamp project supported by the US Department of State, US Embassy, Kuala Lumpur, and the UNESCO MIL Alliance. The project aims to train 100 teachers, teacher educators, and school heads from Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Thailand on integrating MIL into their school's curricula. Wong is currently researching for her PhD at University Sains, Malaysia. She particularly looks at teachers' media and information literacy competencies levels. The six funded projects done by her include MGNCRE MHRD, Swayam MHRD, AJK MCRC MHRD, Radio Amity and Amity MOOC project. Dr. Lal chaired many technical sessions at national international conferences and has conducted workshops on advertising research methods, qualitative research methods, campaign planning, and storytelling in advertising. She served as IQAC head, stream head for advertising and marketing communication, board of studies, AAB and PRC committee member, academic advisory board, outcome assessment head, academic planning and review committee member, external examiner, paper setter, and guest speaker for many universities. She has also chaired more than 50 admission boards for the selection of students. Dr. Lal chaired many technical sessions at national international conferences and has conducted workshops on advertising research methods, qualitative research methods, campaign planning, and storytelling in advertising.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this first panel discussion. It's on inclusiveness in digital literacy, participatory approach in communication. Just a few words of introduction. I say hello, especially to Professor Anubhuti. We have both worked at NCRT on building and evolving media education programs in India, and it's such a delight to see you, Anubhuti, and also to my other panel colleagues, uh, Dr. Lai, Dr. Bhavna, Dr. Shukla. Yeah, welcome to the session. Uh, as I said during my inaugural remarks, that media literacy is not like training for media professions. Media literacy is for everyone, for every citizen, so that every citizen can participate in our democracy in a very active way. And for this, of course, everyone needs access to the various media, both old media, new media, and newer media. Okay? And of course, uh, the pedagogy is largely, as I said, it's participatory and dialogic. But first of all, media access to computing and to the internet. I invite Dr. Anubhuti Yadav to make a presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it's an honor and privilege, to share this with, Professor Kevalji Kumar. And I mean, as he said that, yes, we have worked on number of projects on media and information literacy. And he was a key person in getting media and information literacy introduced at school level. So thank you very much, sir. And it's an honor to be, a co-panelist of, such, learned panelists here. So the brief which was given to me was to talk about digital literacy. I don't have a presentation as such, but my views on digital literacy and specifically on digital divide. Though to begin with, I think I don't know whether it's a good idea to start this talk with the challenge, but I feel that there's an opportunity here in the sense that if we start this panel discussion with the challenges, other panelists can offer a lot of solutions to this problem of digital divide, which I'll be discussing in detail right now. So see, if we are talking about digital divide, it is a huge problem, and all of us understand that particular thing. But before that, when we talk about digital, like when we talk about technology, especially information and communication technology, it do offer a lot of advantages, and we have seen in the past the kind of advantages which we had because of these new technologies. And nowadays, all of us, you, me, everyone, all the students who are sitting in the conference room, and all the panelists who are participating here, we're all living in those, micro movements, and these micro movements are the moments wherein we turn towards our smartphone, and that too reflexively, to find out information on anything. If we want to purchase something, if we want to visit somewhere, if we want to register for an online course, the one thing which we do is we reflexively turn towards our smartphone, our smart devices, and we try and search for information there. So this is something which is happening because of the new technology. Another very important thing which is happening because of the new technology is the greater connectivity which it is offering to people. And we have seen in the past like how these new technologies, and especially like social media, had collectivized people in different countries, and they were actually making case for their own issues. We have an example of Arab Spring, wherein the people in the Arab countries, they were like not satisfied, or maybe like not happy with the kind of government which was there, got together, collectivized by the social media, and then they started with the movement, and lot happened after that. We've also seen the kind of role this new technology, information and communication technology, is playing at the time of the disasters and devastations. Just yesterday, or day before yesterday, there was earthquake felt in Gurgaon, Delhi. So there are people who might not have felt that earthquake at that point of time, but the moment you pick up your phone, everyone one gets to know that something has happened somewhere. So you get a lot of information. Chennai floods, it's a great example how information and communication technology has actually collectivized a lot of people for the cause of helping others. And of course, like Nirbhaya case is another example wherein a lot of people came together, and of course, like a lot of new policies have been made.
Can't hear you.
Ma'am, you're muted, I think.
And online education, and that is something which has actually helped us a lot. We have seen at the time of the pandemic, the education continued, learning continued, just because of the new technology, and just because of the information and communication technology. Now the problem is, though it offers a lot of benefits, but it is not happening equally all over the world, because of the imbalance that exists. And this is like what is known as digital divide. Though we would like this to happen everywhere, in all the regions, at all the places, but the truth is that it's not happening everywhere. If you look at the International Telecommunication Union, and the specialized agency of UN, they have said that almost half of the Earth's population is still not connected with the internet. They do not have access to internet. And what does it mean? It means that the lot of things, lot of projects, lot of initiatives which are happening using new technologies are not reaching half of the population of the world. So that's a major concern. Another inequality is like when we are talking about inequality in the access to internet and ICT, and when we are talking about the digital divide, it affects 52% of women and 42% of men worldwide. And this gap becomes even wider when we talk about regions. You talk about Africa, there 43% of the internet penetration is there. When you talk about America, when you talk about Europe, the penetration is 88%, the penetration is 94%. If you talk about the country like ours, I think we should take pride in this fact that the India is going through a digital revolution. India as a country is being hailed across the world for the kind of digital initiatives we have taken in the past few years. But still, if you look at the population, more 800 million people, they are connected with the internet. That's a very happy situation. And if you look at the ranking, India is ranked as the second country with largest number of internet population. But still, if you look at the penetration, the penetration is 60%, according to TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. So what does it mean? So despite the fact that we have might be having maximum number of people who have access to internet, but still 40% of our population is still not connected with internet. 40% of the population is still not able to find information which they would like to have, maybe like for education or maybe like for their businesses. So that's an concern across the world, and that's a huge problem which all of us are facing. So now coming on to what are the different causes of digital divide, why exactly it is happening. Of course, the one very important thing is access divide, which means that the infrastructure is not available, which means that the internet is not available, which means that maybe like those smart devices which make internet possible for to access is not available. So this is one divide where the infrastructure is not available. Second very important thing is with the accesses, it's not just like the infrastructure not being available. There are places where in the infrastructure might be there, but people might not have money to buy that particular thing or buy that particular service. So access is one very important issue when we talk about internet, or when we talk about digital divide, and that's the most important reason for this. Second reason is the divide, which is because of the usage of this particular technology. Infrastructure might be available, people might have money to buy those devices, but at the same time they might lack digital skills to use it, which is extremely important. There are villages, there are common service centers, the technology is available, but people do not know how to use this technology. So the lack of digital skills is something creating a lot of problem, and the digital divide. And in this regard, ITU points out that 40 countries in which more than half of the inhabitants, they do not know how to attach file with an email, right? So that's the research which they have done. So that's the second the reason for digital divide. Another thing is this quality of use gap, in the sense that, okay, fine, there is a gap because they don't know, they don't have those digital skills. But if you roam around in India, even in the rural areas, you would find people with the access to technology, but at the same time they do not know or make use of that particular technology in a good way, in the sense that everybody knows that there is a browser, everybody knows that there is a search engine from using which they can search content, but how to get content, or how to get reliable content from the authoritative sources, that is something which they are not aware of. And this means what? This means a lot of digital literacy programs. This means a lot of media and information literacy programs, because most of the information, as I said in the beginning, we are getting through the digital devices. So we need to know how to navigate the kind of space which we have, and how to find out content, one, which is relevant to us, and second, the content which is trustworthy. So these are some of the reasons for digital divides. Now what can be done? Because of this digital divide, there's a lot of things which can happen. One is lack of communication, isolation. That is something which we have witnessed at the time of the pandemic, wherein the colleges and universities, they were very happy that, okay, we do have this particular technology, and we are offering online courses. But we have seen that the students who were attending classes from rural areas, from villages, they were not able to connect with us. They were not able to engage with us. So what was happening at that point of time? Those students, that they felt very isolated. They felt that, okay, despite the fact that the colleges have provided this particular facility, but we are not able to access it. Barriers to studies, barriers to knowledge, that is another thing which is happening right now. It can accentuate social differences, that's happening. Gender discrimination is another thing which is happening because of digital divide. As I said before, when we compare men and women, I mean, there are more women, I mean, who do not have access to the digital devices, or maybe like access to internet. I'll give you a very small example, because see, when we talk about digital divide, when we talk about digital literacy, more than studying, from from the books, or from referring to the research papers, I think we learn it more, when we see how things are happening in our society. Yesterday only, a friend of mine, she said that, for some reason, I mean, she had to have a new smartphone, because she might have dropped it and it broke. So I said, I congratulated her. I said, okay, finally you're getting a new phone. She said that, no, I'm not buying a new one. What I'm doing is that, I'm taking the older phone which my husband, had discarded, and I'm using that. So, and this is something which I'm talking about, the educated women. This is something which I'm talking about, women who do have resources. They come from, good socioeconomic background, but still this is happening. When it comes to technology, the preferences are, totally different. So, and she was happy with that particular thing. So that's a kind of eye opener, that, why women are not giving, prominence when it comes to access to technology, access to devices. And that's why it's creating digital divide, not only like, have or have not, even like, when we talk about across the gender. So, what are the initiatives? A few initiatives are needed to bridge this digital divide, and a lot of things are happening right now. For example, when we talk about digital divide, we need to have more of digital literacy programs, so that people know how to, use these, new technologies. I'm part of Pradhan Mantri Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, and in fact, like, it started with National Digital Literacy Mission, and like, we have different, versions of that. And as part of that, every one member and in each family across India has to be digitally literate. And when we started that particular program under Digital India program, we knew that, what we have, set out a goal for ourselves. I mean, it's going to be a very difficult thing, but we did make some difference. But if you look at the population of our country, yeah, still we feel that, we have a long way to go, despite the fact that we had, entire digital literacy program, and we had infrastructure available to, provide that particular training. In some of the areas we felt there was a problem, because there that infrastructure was not available. People do not have access to devices in a family. So that's another thing which needs to continue, and, we need to work towards this. We need to understand the role of common service centers, which is like CSCs in this. And they have done, exceptionally well when we talk about taking digital new technologies to the rural areas, or to the nook and corner of our country. Um, there are CSCs at, the different parts of the country. These are common service centers. They have all the technologies available, and using which, the people who are living in rural areas, or when they do not have access to this technology at their individual or personal or a family level, they can go to these centers. They can fill up forms. They can send mail. So they can do a lot of stuff there. So that has played a very important role. Another area, or another area wherein a lot of efforts have been made, is at the NGO level. There's this one NGO and the one initiative which, in fact, two, which I would like to mention, is the one is Digital Empowerment Foundation. They have done excellent work taking technologies to the rural women, telling them, how they can do their businesses using, these new technologies. And another, the initiative which happened recently, and which I really admire, is, the Factshala, which is, the largest media and information literacy initiative, which was started by Google Internews, and Data Leads, wherein they went to tier 2 and tier 3 cities and told people about the importance of media content, and of course, like, how to analyze, how to interpret, those media messages. So these are few initiatives which have been done. But of course, as I said before, if you talk about India, A lot needs to be done. Digital India campaign is still there, which started with the vision of having digital infrastructure as a core utility for every citizen, governance and services on demand, and digital empowerment of citizens. So these three things have to run parallelly when we want
Yeah, yeah.
something in this area needs to be done, and if we want to bridge that digital divide which we are talking about. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Anubhuti. Uh, any questions? One or two quick questions, and then we'll move on to the next speaker. Yes. Yes, please unmute yourself. Yes. We can't hear you. You're muted.
So you are talking to start the discussion, or you're
Yeah, yeah. No, just after each speaker, one or two quick questions, and then we move on. Instead of keeping the questions for the end, because we often forget what the first speaker has said.
do you agree?
Yeah. Okay. Since there are no questions, let's move on to Dr. Bhavna.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, the organizer of this ISMER 2023, myself, Professor Bhavna. And I'm so happy that I am sharing this, stage with Professor Dr. Keval J. Kumar sir, who is the moderator of the session, Dr. Anbhuti Yadav ma'am, and other experienced panelists. So I'm going to discuss on media literacy, inclusivity, and participation. And with the permission of our moderator, Dr. Keval J. Kumar sir, I want to share my presentation.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Um, it's I'm not able to share the content. It's just a sec. It is, yeah. Uh, is it visible to everyone?
No. Now it's available. I think it's coming up. Yes. Fine.
Okay. Yes. So, on the topic which I'm going to discuss is the media literacy, inclusivity, and participation. And first of all, we have to understand the importance of media literacy and why we are talking about the media literacy. And no doubt, media literacy is considered as essential literacy in 21st century, and it's a competency of accessing, analyzing, evaluating, and creating media content using multiple media platforms, which is known as multimedia. So this COVID-19 period has given us a chance to realize that how important is media literacy for combating against not only MDM, which is misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, but apart from it, it is also to develop critical approach or critical skill towards media content, narratives set by media, and to produce relevant media content even. And it is first and foremost demand for us to become skeptical while we are consuming any of the information. Media literacy appeals us to keep questioning who is content creator and who are the owners of media. What is his or her intention of disseminating that particular information? What has been told in the story and what is hidden in that story? Is there any hidden agenda behind that story? And which type of narrative such kind of information are setting in front of society? Media literacy really helps us to develop rational approach. It helps us in many ways, like to overcome information overload, which we are witnessing in 21st century, not being victim of cyber fraud, conspiracy theory, echo chamber, disinformation, to become active and responsible digital citizen, to decode media messages in better manner for strengthening vibrant democracy, and to become responsible citizen and respect multiple perspectives as well. Aim of media literacy is to increase people's awareness to the many forms of media messages encountered in their day-to-day life. It helps us in maximizing benefits from media and minimizing the loss from it. Now we are looking towards the current scenario of media literacy, and it's really very good that media literacy curriculum are being developed in many countries for schools, colleges, and universities. And it is also being said that media literacy need to be taught right from the beginning in the play school in 21st century, as even small babies are fond of mobile, and they become happy when they see mobile, and when we take out the mobile, they start crying. So, in the countries like America, media literacy law has been passed in many states for making media literacy mandatory right from pre-primary schooling. But now the question arises that how media literacy can reach to those people who are out of the schools and the universities, or from the formal education system, but are consuming media diet heavily, and they have the overdose of the media diet. And in country like India, we only have the percentage of the formal education is only 27%. So what about the rest 70% of the population? What will be our strategies to reach to those people who are consuming the media but are not aware of media literacy awareness programs, or they don't know about media literacy? What is our strategy for inclusion and participation of the masses in media literacy awareness? So it's a big challenge for us, that how we will make strategies. Moving towards the inclusivity and participation, inclusion is seen as a universal human rights. Its aim is to embrace all people irrespective of their caste, class, race, gender, region, religion, etc. Inclusion bring diverse communities on a common platform to represent themselves. We need inclusion because we are living in digital world where cultures are coming closer to each other, and we are witnessing rising shared culture. And this rising shared culture needs equal representation so that no communities face exclusion. And active participation is the key to inclusion. It leads to individual self-esteem, make them a good decision maker, and provide autonomy to their lives. They feel valued and encouraged. And that is the reason that ISMER is talking about communicating with communities. Now, media literacy and inclusion, if I talk about in Europe, is fantabulously, working in that particular area. And in Europe, media literacy is considered as one of the main strategy for promoting inclusion of disadvantaged groups. An inclusive society is a society for all in which every individual has an active role to play. Media literacy is an effective tool for inclusion. It helps communities to learn tools and techniques of media for amplifying their voices. Community media like community radios in countries like Latin America, Nepal, Sri Lanka are empowering people's voice. Though in India, we also have more than 200 community radios, but community participation is missing from there. They are controlled by the government and run by mostly either the educational institutions, Krishi Vigyan Kendras, or NGOs who have their own priorities and agendas, but not run by the communities. So, still, that community participation or inclusion is even missing from the community media itself. Even after so many limitations, community radios in India have performed well. They promote local culture, broadcast awareness program, folk songs by local artists. Community radios can become tool for active participation and inclusion if they truly run by the communities. When one participates wholeheartedly in any form, in any of the program or in any of the content creation, there is a sense of ownership and belongingness which develop automatically among them. And community media like Khabar Lahariya of Chitrakoot, Uttar Pradesh, community radios like Radio Bundelkhand in Jhansi, Radio Dhadkan in Shivpuri is run by NGOs and doing their best even after several limitation, because I mean in community radios even one cannot broadcast the news or the such kind of information. Role of media literacy in inclusion and participation. So when one participate in content creation, they understand functioning of media in better manner, how media functions, how to create the content or how to disseminate the content on various media platforms, and what could be the role of social media in dissemination of the content, and how we can, parallelly, basically, and strongly can build alternate media if the mainstream media is basically, controlled by the corporate, and where the common man is not visible. And in our inaugural session also, there was the discussion that a common man is not visible in mainstream media. So this invisibility can be basically, can be left out, or that can be, common man can get the visibility through the alternate media, and social media has given us that strength. If we talk about the citizen journalism, that's a wonderful initiative. If people will be trained enough in that direction, like how to do the report writing, how to basically make information, how to disseminate it, it's really going to help a lot. So media literacy helps people to become prosumer. That means they not only consume media, but they also produce relevant media content, not only making dancing videos or TikTok videos only. Inclusion and participation will also encourage intercultural dialogue, which will lead towards harmony and connectedness, and hope that kind of communal hatred we are witnessing on social media today, it will reduce when we will become media literate, and we will move towards the connectedness and respect the other communities. Now, moving towards the challenges which we are facing and how tough it is to talk about communicating with communities, or digital inclusion and participation. So, idea of digital inclusion and participation is encouraging, no doubt. But there are many challenges. For example, digital divide, which Anubhuti ma'am was talking. And this digital divide is not only among have and have not countries, but also within the country, and even between men and women. So technology itself is not gender neutral. Languages are also a big hurdle. It's good that we are getting the materials in vernacular languages also, but it's not sufficient. Content is created for the people, but not by the people. And again, here also language is a big barrier. Information related to media is not available in regional languages and local dialects, and this hinders the common man's participation in media or in other platforms. Gender disinformation not only harm an individual woman, but is used as a weapon against women and discourage them to participate on various digital media platforms or in digital world. So
Please, please wind up quickly.
yes, yes. So I just want to throw light on a humble initiative we have started. It's known as a Media Dictionary Initiative, which is towards inclusion and participation of various communities. And it's a group of more than 50 participants. And if I talk about this audio-visual multilingual media dictionary initiative, which we have initiated, it has been functioning in 34 languages and dialects of India, along with international languages like English, French, Japanese, Nepali, and Urdu. And it's completely a volunteer effort without any fund, or without any government support. And last but not the least, I just want to do a humble appeal that Media Dictionary has to cover a long journey, and it's not possible without your support and encouragement. You can participate in Media Dictionary initiative for helping communities to become media literate and decode media messages, and to become, media aware, and to become media literate. And for joining the media literacy family, you can occasionally also donate the terms, media terms, which are related to our day-to-day life, or you can become, a regular member of it. And if you have any question or any suggestion or any recommendation, please share it with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Bhavna. Any quick questions Before we move on to Dr. Lai, I, I don't see any hands up.
Hello,
Dr. Lai,
hello, ma'am.
yeah, yes,
Yes,
ask your question.
yes. So I want to ask, when you're working in this media literacy field, whether you have felt that, especially when I see coming to the females, they are not ready to update themselves, or they are not ready to learn when a new technology is coming. Until and unless that is that much of necessary, then only they will learn. So this type of barrier is there when you are approaching the people and talking about them regarding the media literacy and all.
Do agree. That is the reason that when we say that media literacy awareness program, it means that first of all what you have to do is you have to create hunger for the need of media literacy. Why common man will be eager to learn about the media literacy initiatives and how that will be useful in their day to day life. So like if you will tell about the COVID era, so like we really witnessed the misinformation, disinformation, and lot, and people are realizing that how media literacy could be really beneficial for them. So when we will connect these things with their day-to-day life, and when people will feel the urgency of it, when it will be needed by the people, definitely they will learn about it. And as if we talk about the WhatsApp, right? I mean, most of the people are now using the WhatsApp, even the ladies. And when the technology, as I told you, that even the technology is not gender neutral. So when we are designing the technology, we have to keep in mind that when we talk about the technology, if it will be simple, most of the people will be able to learn it easily.
Thank you, Professor Bhavna. Yeah, let's move
Thank
on to Dr. Lai. Yeah, now we
Hello.
can hear
I
you
hope you can
loud and
hear
clear.
me.
Yes.
All right. All right. Good morning and good afternoon to all honorable officials, esteemed panelists and speakers, Dr. Keval, and all participants joining us online and offline from this region and beyond. First of all, thank you very much for having me at this very important event. Of course, before I start, allow me to congratulate the Department of Visual Media and Communication under the leadership of Dr. Dinesh Babu for organizing this very timely symposium for us to share our thoughts and research findings through this platform. I just wanted to start my remarks today with a positive note. All right. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic and the life changing effects of the pandemic, I think we people in this world and in the region remains very resilient with the challenges posed by this situation. Proof to this is the continuous effort of developing new ways for us to communicate with each other and to promote learning continuity such as digital and media literacy skills. All right. So, let me just share with you the outline of my presentation today. I'll talk about the role of media in society, which is very important because most of our kids are being exposed to media, in fact, almost every day. And I'll also talk about why, as what Prof. Vatna has mentioned just now, why media and information literacy skill is so important. So, what can MIL skills help us to solve problems in our society? I'll also share a little bit about the UNESCO MIL competencies, which has been promoted by UNESCO since many, many years ago. And I'll zoom in a little bit about the status of MIL in my region, particularly in ASEAN, and how do we actually counter media disinformation issues in the region. And of course, along the way, we face a lot of challenges and what are the strategies and what can be done within our region. All right. So today, I think all of us, Dr. Gavel has earlier on mentioned, media literacy is for everyone, and I truly, truly agree with his point. Why? Because 71% of the world youth is now online. All right. Every day, people watch more than 1 million hours of videos on YouTube, and almost 2 million of them uses Facebook, including myself. And some even use Facebook for work, right? And often it's the primary source of news and information about the world. All right. So, of course, with these digital technologies, although it has been so empowering and enriching for many, but it has also actually given way to massive disinformation and hate speech, where there's a lot of fake news that are being spread. And of course, our youth is one of the most active users, are often unaware of their rights and responsibilities in the cyberspace. So take a look. Every 1 minute of the day, People worldwide share more than 240,000 photos on Facebook, watch 167 million videos on TikTok, send over half a million tweets on Twitter, and stream almost 700,000 hours of videos on YouTube. And in fact, as of July 2021, in fact, that was the pandemic year, right? The internet actually reaches 65% of the world population and now represents 5.17 million people. So what does this data actually tells us about, right? So 1 minute on the internet may not seem like a lot of time, but with millions of people using the internet every day, you'll be surprised of what gets done. Meaning, um, and in this process of interactions to all these social media platforms, that also tells us there's a lot of we are also being exposed to a huge amount of false and misleading information. Right. So I'm sure all of you watched the Oscar a couple of weeks ago. And of course, before I talk about misinformation, I congratulate the people of India for winning the RRR Natu Natu's Best Original Song, yeah, during the Oscar. And yeah, just if you look at this piece of news, palsu in Bahasa Malaysia actually means fake. The moment one of our that Michelle Yeoh won the best Oscar award, best actress award in Oscar. She's our Malaysian actress. The next day, a piece of fake information was already spreading all over the internet, where people actually self-declared that, hey, the prime minister actually claimed that there's a public holiday because our Malaysian actress won an Oscar, and this is the pride of a nation. So can you imagine? It's actually impacting our daily lives. The World Economic Forum identified misinformation spreading on the internet as one of the most serious threats to the society. So what I'm trying to say here is MIL skills and competencies are actually very critical in today's digital environment. All right. So we often call our our kids as digital natives, right? But they may be digital natives, but in some ways they are surprisingly inexperienced at evaluating source online, meaning they are even unable to distinguish what is an advertisement from a content, and understanding what an org domain name means, right? So um, the social media platform actually is one of the most favorite platform among our youth in Southeast Asia. But at the same time, it also poses a lot of risk, all right, to our students as well. You see, digital transformation has actually brought challenges not just to children but also to teachers, because nowadays students, I think there's a lot of debate. People are also talking a lot about chat gpt. Now it's kind of a hot topic, like, oh, can I actually use chat gpt to write an essay? Right? So it has brought a lot of challenges to the teachers and people in the education industries. All right, there's a research by UNICEF Office of Research Innocenti claim that our global kids research reveals that 3/4 of young people are not confident in their ability to verify the truth of information online. This is serious, this is serious. So while digital transformation has actually helped us to improve learning, but it has also caused disruption and brought digital challenges to teachers. So nowadays, I would say teachers not only play a role in equipping our students with knowledge, but teachers also have an additional role to teach pupils how to critically evaluate information, process verification, access credibility of sources, and be a responsible user of social media. So there's no denial. It's important to understand our relationship with the media. You know, um, our relationship with media is lifelong. It's not just while you're in school, while you're in college, or while you're in the university. In fact, media and information literacy skills is actually for everyone. All right. So the need for MIL. All right, at MIL for ASEAN Network, what we do here, we support UNESCO goals that we truly agree that MIL should expand the civic education movement that incorporates teachers as the principal agents of change. So at MIL for ASEAN Network, we run capacity buildings for teachers to, to teach and guide teachers to integrate media and information literacy across the curriculum. So when we did TACTEM Malaysia, Philippines in 2021, we trained teachers from Malaysia and Philippines on teaching media and information literacy in everyday life, because we believe that by focusing on teachers, we hope to harness the potential of multiplier effect, meaning integrate that. You can even bring MIL into the classroom by integrating media and information literacy competency in a mathematics classroom. For example, when you teach statistics or facts checking, like for example, if you see an advertisement on the TV, like the context of Malaysia, who claim that, oh, this is the best toothpaste in the world, all right, the advertisement claim. But we can integrate that in class by asking students, this particular advertisement actually said that it is one of the best advertisement in the world, but the data, how do they define the best, is from what data that they have actually gathered for them to claim that they are the best in the world. So this is a very simple form of media and information literacy, which we could actually integrate in the classroom. So what is exactly MIL? I'll keep it very short because I believe the earlier on the speakers have somehow defined them. It's a set of competencies. It's very big. It's not just about media. It covers media literacy. It covers news literacy. It covers digital literacy. It covers ICT literacy, information literacy. So it's a set of competencies, all right, that empowers people to access, retrieve, understand, evaluate, and use, as well as to create information using different types of media content. All right, so be it video, be it advertisement in the form of print media, digital media, and even electronic media. So, what are the problems? What are the problems that uh, we can solve in what do you call that, by if you have MIL knowledge? Of course, if you have MIL knowledge, it helps you to understand how news and information can be manipulated and fabricated. Of course, we all, I'm a mass comm person. Of course, we understand how the media world works. But here, as on a full time job, I work with science teachers and mathematics teacher. We train teachers in science and mathematics. We knew that these people are very good in science and maths, but when it comes to media and information, they are lack of this kind of competencies and capabilities. So it's so important. All right. So of course, MIL, it also gives you a clear understanding of the roots of discrimination. All right. It gives you a tool to combat hate speech, meaning it helps you to critically analyze and build upon scientific evidence. For example, if there's a claim about the COVID-19 vaccine, in Malaysia, even in ASEAN, people talk about, oh, if you take this injection, the vaccine, it will cause a lot of health problem. So a lot of people, even at all ages, they trust that, and the government is actually having problem to get people to go for vaccine, because people believe with conspiracy theories. So people refuse to go for vaccinations. So we have this problem here in our country. And of course, media literacy, of course, it makes our society more capable of questioning, analyzing, and evaluating information. Just like when people forward you a message via a WhatsApp and all that, if you have an MIL skill, you have the capability to question the data, the information that has been forwarded to you, whether in terms of timeliness, when was produced, who forwarded it, what is the main source, right? So it's so important to have MIL skills. So the components of MIL competencies, of course, it teaches you to access information, means ability to recognize the need for information, all right, ability to identify information, all right. Evaluation means you are able to distinguish facts from opinion, means you know how to compare if this information is new or obsolete, all right. Creation is your capability to master the production of know-how of information, means you know how to create, all right, media content, and you share it with others in an effective ways. So here, when we train teachers, we go with these three main components, and we teach teachers to integrate these three components in their science or in their maths or in their language classrooms. All right. So these are the three main components. I'll just touch that very quickly. So in Southeast Asia, ASEAN, we have like 10 member countries. We don't just reach out to Malaysia, we reach out to Singapore, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Brunei, as well as Philippines. But teaching MIL in ASEAN is rather challenging, remains rather challenging. Why I say that? Because out of 10 countries, only one country teachers have a MIL subject in school, which is Philippines. While the other 9 countries, we don't have MIL in school. But the government has slowly see the importance of MIL, and they're trying to integrate that in the school curriculum. But the issue we face here is most teachers who wanted to teach MIL are not competent to teach the subject. The reason being, there is no capacity building, there's no training given. And the second most important thing is lack of available textbooks and good reference materials. I think just now, earlier on, Prof. Now has also mentioned, a lot of our resources are from US, United States, and in fact, some of them are from the Europe countries. So we don't have textbook that can actually cater to a local context. All right. So this is one of the main challenge of implementing media and information literacy in ASEAN. So I'll touch that very briefly in the context of Malaysia. Malaysia in Malaysia, MIL is a technical concept because in Malaysia, the government actually believes that computer literacy and digital literacy is more important than MIL. So they feel that the government thinks that it's more important for our students to master the skill of coding, programming, producing video, rather than they focus on media and information literacy, which I view as 21st century skills. It's critical thinking skills, right? So this is the issue. Whereby in the Philippines, they have media and information literacy subject in school, but however, teachers are not trained to teach. They actually ask a mathematics teacher, science teacher to come in and, okay, today I give you this book, you just go in and teach media subjects. So teachers, they're not someone with mass comm background. They don't have media background. So it's an issue. For Thailand, when in 2003, when UNESCO introduced media and information literacy subject in Thailand, the school adopted. But after that, in 2017, they slowly have to drop it. Why they drop it? Reason being, because of language problems. Because in Thailand, most of it they use Thai language, and at the same time, there's no teachers. Lack of teachers, lack of expertise to train teachers in media information literacy. Whereby in Indonesia, the case is same like Malaysia. They focus on computer literacy more. But if there is a fake news, if you are someone that has been caught spreading fake news, Indonesia way they are more how to say, they use legal approach. They use legal approach to deal with fake news. If you are being caught spreading fake news, the government will summon you and put you in jail. So for us, we believe that we should see media and information literacy as a civic engagement movement, like what UNESCO has defined. When we see it as a civic engagement movement, we should embed MIL into classrooms and let the school knows the importance of MIL as a critical thinking skill. Teach them from young, rather than when after that people started to spread fake news, then we started to catch, summon them, bring them to the police station, in a more by using a legal approach, which we feel that it can be done much in a more better way. So for us ASEAN, what are the challenges to promote MIL? Of course, there's always lack of adequate trainings for teachers. We have to start to train our school teachers to integrate media and information literacy. We cannot introduce it as a new subject because it's unfair. Teachers will always feel that I have a lot of subjects to teach. I have maths, I have science, I have language. I have so many subjects to teach, and why are you bringing in more subjects? they will not be happy. So what we can do is teach them to integrate them across curriculum. All right, government agencies, and academic civil society and other stakeholders are also introducing different initiatives, because uh, we have a group of journalists and mass comm people. They actually introduce fact checking courses and all that, but they train journalists and they expect journalists to train teachers. But I feel that to us, for us to embed teacher with MIL skills, we have to put people from a different group together. For example, you cannot ask uh, a mass communication professor to design a course for a school teacher to teach, because and if you don't train them right, for example, I'm doing a mass communication research, but you cannot ask me to write a book and say, hey, now I produced this book, you use it in your maths classroom. We have to sit down with the teacher, design the module together, all right, with the teachers, people from the education industry, and design the module together with people from the media and mass comm. And at the end of the day, we train them. We train the teacher how to use the module. Train the trainers. That's important. Another one is lack of empirical impact assessment. Do we really evaluate what is the problem that teachers face in school to teach MIL? What are the challenges? Lack of available MIL teaching resources. Probably, hopefully, one day I'll work with some of our colleagues here from India to come up with a useful MIL teaching resources for Southeast Asian educators, right? Within the local context. And of course, different country in the region has different understanding and expectation of MIL. These are some of the challenges. So moving forward, what can be done? Of course, we hope the ministries of education, policymakers will support investment on teachers' continuous professional development on media and information literacy. We should also set up a national regional working group to promote the integration of MIL across curriculum. I think this is what UNESCO MIL is trying to do right now, because even though they have a lot of MIL modules, but teachers won't be using it because there is no such subject in school. All we need to do is a module that guide them to integrate um, MIL in other subjects. So teachers as co-creators of MIL curriculum, we have to put them all together at the same table and create a collation between digital and media agencies, academic institutions, corporate sectors, and policymakers as well. And I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is we have to evaluate the MIL programs. We have to do assessment to understand what are the teachers' readiness, capabilities, and what are the challenges and support the teachers needed if you want them to integrate MIL in the classroom. So with that, we acknowledge the importance of media and information literacy, and I thank to promote MIL within the education sector. We need people from different sectors and level to work together and to sit down on the same table as well. And I'm also very glad to announce that this coming May, we will also be running MIL webinar series together with the US Embassy in Kuala Lumpur for our teachers. And I hope to see all of you in the room as well. And I do invite all of you to follow our pages for our upcoming events. And of course, thank you very much again for having me today.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Lai. Yeah. Any quick questions for Dr. Lai? I don't see any hands up. Okay, let's move to the final speaker, Dr. Shukla. I will speak at the end by way of offer some concluding remarks. Dr. Shukla?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah. Do you have a PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Okay, so you can meanwhile set it up. Yeah, I can see it very clearly.
So at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers who has given me the opportunity to speak here. Although a lot of things have been talked about digital media literacy, gendered divide, and digital divide. A lot of things have been talked on that. Cable sir also will speak on digital literacy after me, and probably he will just conclude the session. I have given the topic ethics in digital platforms. Okay, so whenever we talk about ethics, generally what we think, what we think, generally what we think, we will talk on that. What is ethics? So for me, what I have decided to talk on ethics, ethics are the general principles that governs the human morally right communication, like any morally right behavior which you are doing. Okay, so it can be moral code, it can be your behavior, it can be your values, it can be your societal concern, or it can be the principles which defines ethics. So when it comes to the digital ethics, digital platform ethics, what comes to your mind? What comes in your mind if I ask the audience that what comes in your mind and it comes to the digital ethics? Generally, when you see the digital platforms are not having any ethics. Digital technology is not having any ethics. The people who are using those platforms, those people are having the ethics. Technology is way ahead of humans. I'm keeping it cut and short because it is given, the organizers told me that you have to keep it short, your presentation. We know that we are humans and technology is changing very rapidly, very rapidly. Very radical changes are happening in the technology. Low limit to the access of creation. Already we are talking about media literacy and a lot of things. Literacy, we can make people literate into this, into that. But and it is way ahead of humans. Our speed is very slow. Right now we are talking about Chat GPT, we are talking about AI, we are talking about algorithms, we are talking about many other concepts. So in that case, tech what I feel that with this advent of technology, although people teach us the media literacy to use the media effectively, okay, right now the people are using media in front of me too. So technology is going inside us, and we are going to inside technology. What is happening with us? What is happening with us when we talk about ethics? What is happening with us? Either we are going inside the technology, or technology is going inside us. What is going around us? Just see the scenario around us. Okay, so who will tell technology what is wrong and what is right? Because technology is not knowing that what is black, what is white. Technology is not knowing that. People are making technology and then they are presenting technology to you, and technology is knowing nothing. The people who are behind that technology, they are making the things right and wrong. So the ethical concerns comes from that point only. Okay, we have lot of things, we have lot of literature written on ethics. So right now we are having an unimaginable, we can't imagine the future, what will happen in future. Like the Chat GPT came and Chat GPT started, and all the academic people have started worrying about that what will happen to academia. And a recent report which I am just reading, that almost 70%, 75% of content, the content, online content creation will go in the hands of ChatGPT. What will happen to those jobs? What will happen to those things? What will happen to the people who are working in those fields? So still the future is totally, we can't imagine that how much the technology will go. Okay, so we have to talk about the ethics. If we are not talking about the ethics, when we are talking about the media literacy, digital literacy, and other things, if we are not talking about ethics, how ethically we can utilize those technologies, we can't imagine a better future ahead. Okay, so a recent quote I'm just want to take. One of the biggest risks of the future of civilization is AI. It is given by Elon Musk. In a recent conference in Feb, in World Government Summit in Dubai 2023, he has given this quote. Why he is talking about this? Why he is talking about this? This is the biggest question. And once he has also talked about that artificial intelligence is far more dangerous than the nuclear warhead. why all the people who are talking about digital things, they are talking about the dangers of those digital things. If they are talking about the dangers of those digital things, then it means that something is fishy. Something is uh, having a lot of questions to ask. Something is uh, something is coming dangerous. Maybe it can be a dangerous thing, and even the people who are in the budgeting sector, they are also thinking that after some time, right now we are proposing the budgets for different sectors. Almost 50 to 60% of the budgets, almost 50 to 60% of the budgets will go to the AI algorithm things, because the diesel warheads will be having more dangerous in coming years. Okay, so we have to ask the ethical questions to us. Those values, those moral codes, those principles, those things which can lead this ethical concern dominantly. We have to talk on that. Next thing is, Uh, what are the ethical questions right now we are facing in the domain of digital media? Ethical questions generally we are facing. Everything in the digital media is revolving around the privacy. We continuously talking about the privacy. Everyone is talking about the privacy. Do you know, from my thinking, the privacy is a myth. Right now, privacy is a myth. You know that you are traveling from one place to another place, and Google will give you the map that you have traveled from this place to this place. Every month, you will get a map that from where you have traveled to where. And if you have checked in a hotel, after returning from that hotel, you will get a message that rate this hotel. How you are all getting these things? So everything in the digital platforms is revolving around the privacy and security. Everything. What is more important? Data ethics is again a very big challenge, ethical concern. Why it is ethical concerns? Do you know that who is selling your data? No, you don't know. Lot of data breaches news you must have heard in the recent times. In the recent times, I'm not talking about that. Why these things are happening? Because technology is getting inside us. What we are doing? We are purchasing online. They knows that what is your choice of wearing clothes, what is your choice of having a oil in your hairs, what is your choice of anything, because you are purchasing everything online, and they are storing that data, and they are utilizing that data to give you the algorithm and AI enabled advertisement, individual advertisement you are getting. So data ethics is again a very big challenge in the ethical concerns of the digital platforms. Hacking is again, it is again related to the data ethics. AI and other algorithms are changing total a lot of things they are changing. They are changing our personal behaviors. They are changing our personal things. They are changing our personal things. Okay, our digital behavior is changing, totally changing, because it is now driven by AI. But people might have seen that documentary Social Dilemma, in which that it is a next Netflix documentary in which they have told that how they are treating you as a consumer, as a product. How they are treating you as a product. How the big companies, big tech companies, treating you as a consumers. Bots and robots. This is again a very big challenge. Recently, I was seeing a video. I found a family robot. A family robot is assisting a single person. He is assisting your solitude. Is it possible? How much time it can assist you? How much time it can assist you? So robots and bots are again creating the digital ethical things. Twitter, many of the accounts are created on bots, and they are giving you lot of misinformation, lot of disinformation, lot of malinformation, lot of fake news, and you are not knowing who is operating it. Who is operating it? We people not knowing it. We seriously not knowing it, that who is operating that. So lot of ethical concerns are there in the digital media platforms. Yes, media literacy is one thing which can make you to tackle with those digital concerns, digital ethics concerns. But how much? At which level? At which level? So we have to find out the way out. can we make technology human centric? So I tried to find out the way out from some yogic concepts. Actually, my thesis is on yoga philosophy. So I try to fetch some concept from the yoga philosophy. So the first, the Yoga Sutra 1.2 says yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So vritti nirodha is there. So self-control, self-control. When you are having ethical challenge, the self-control is not for individual. The self-control is for the technology creators also. Those who are taking the those who are making the technology, they have to make the society first. They have to make the controlled technology. So self-control can be a way out to meet up those to challenge those ethical challenges. Again, we have the challenge, ethical challenge of fake news, malinformation, misinformation. So EMI and Niyama is there in yoga philosophy. So truthfulness, accuracy, and purity. So whenever you are having the truthful nature, accurate nature, and you are having purity, you will fight with those ethical challenges in a perfect manner. Okay, peaceful behavior. We have the non-violence is another unethical behavior. Hate speech, another unethical behavior in the digital platforms. So hate speech is there. For tackling with that hate speech, you have to follow the practice of peaceful behavior. Peaceful behavior, peaceful from inside, then you can communicate the peace outside. After that, brahmacharya and tapaha, it is called self-regulation. And self-regulation is the center point of all the ethical things and privacy things. So people are talking about media should be self-regulated. People are talking about technology should be self-regulated. Either it is not self-regulated, although, but people are talking about that they must be self-regulated. Okay, politicians are also saying to technologists that they must be self-regulated, but the political firewalls, they are also creating a lot of chaos into that. Political firewalls means a lot of political agendas maybe they are having with the technology, and they are proposing it into that way. So the self-regulation is again a very important thing which you can adopt when you are facing any digital challenge. Okay, then non-possessiveness and desirelessness, yes, it is a high level thing, but non-possessiveness is you can achieve easily. Non-possessiveness is that you don't be possessive with each and everything. Every technology is coming, you are just going and giving them the right. No application is providing you anything free of cost. Nothing is free in this digital world. Nothing is free in this digital world. Whenever you are logged into any digital platform, you have to give the right to access to your contacts, access to your photos, access to your location, access to your and so on and so on and so on. So they are everywhere. They are listening us. Okay, even the Siri, the Apple Siri, and the Alexa, they might know that how much drunk you are. Okay, on the basis of your language, your tongue this thing, they might know that how much you are drunk when you are speaking to Siri. So whenever you are utilizing the technology, you have to make things non-possessiveness. Then the last thing which I want to make is digital citizenship. Feel the responsibility of civility. Feel the responsibility of civility, that you are a civilian. And digital platforms, now you are creating a digital citizenship platform, and you have to make the digital behavior there, civil behavior there. Okay, so by these things, I think that the ethical concerns of the digital platforms will go and so on, because technology is continuously radically changing. You don't know what is coming after 1 year. You don't know what is coming after. Only ChatGPT is one thing. Hundreds of applications are there which are making chaos in the OpenAI system. Okay, Google has I know one application. Google has invented one AI system in which you must just put one phrase, that system will create the music for you. You just put one picture there, that application, OpenAI application, will create the music according to that picture. So what will be going to the music industry if these type of applications are coming? So whenever the technologists, those who are making a technology, they have to think about the humanity, how the humans behaves, because technology is behaving radically, humans are not behaving radically. Our pace is slow. We learn things in a slow pace, not in a very faster pace. And these all things which I have made here, the bayouts uh, to just tackle with these ethical challenges. I think that if we follow these things, and technologists who are making the technology, those follow these things, they can make a difference. So whenever you are making technology, when you are using the digital technology or digital platforms, think yourself as a civilian of the digital society, a good citizen of a digital society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla. Yeah. Yeah. So, any questions for Dr. Shukla? Okay, since we're
Can
running.
I ask one question, sir?
Yes, please do.
Uh, Thank you, Dr. Shukla, for putting out your views out there. You have covered, moreover, that what the technology makers have to do. Do you have any inputs to give for the people who are using that technology? Because actually, ultimately, we are the people who are using the technology. What we should follow, what we should use, that we should not be ultimately victim of the same.
So in the last slide, I have made the all things clear that you have to follow the path of Vritti Nirodha, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Okay, so you have to make the self-control, self-regulation, non-possessiveness, non-desirelessness. Okay, by those ways you can easily. Uh, uh, I think you will not get in the trap of the technology. You can't get inside the technology, and technology will not get inside you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, let's wind up since we are running short of time. We're already half an hour late. Okay, just a few words by way of conclusion. And what are the challenges for us in the post-pandemic era? Of course, it's too soon to say we have reached that post-pandemic era, because we already hear news about COVID breaking out in several parts of the country, okay, including several deaths. So first of all, yes.
Sorry for the interruption. Sir, I have a small question.
Yes, please do.
The panelists. Okay, all panelists, all panelists have presented really well, and all informative details have been shared with the participants. I quickly ask a few questions. Dr. Anubudhi rightly pointed out the importance of, the challenges that challenges are involved in digital divide and all kinds of things. But my question here is, people give much importance to information literacy or media literacy, but in the surface level. What I would like to point out here is we have to go to the next level, not only talking about the accessibility towards technology, the use of technology, but we have to tell them how responsible they are in terms of using technology. Say, for example, I know how to use mobile phone. Doesn't mean that I can call myself as a digital literate. So how do I use digital technology just for empowering myself or otherwise empowering the society? That's very important. That means a lot to talk about what is it, digital literacy or information literacy or something. Then second thing, Dr. Bhavna also mentioned misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. Even so-called media literates are not completely aware of how to deal with these kind of challenges in terms of news that we get in different media platforms. Particularly, as we all know, that the common spread of misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation in the social media, particularly, which we cannot control easily. The only way to tackle this is, the issue is to create awareness about how to deal with these things. Say, for example, I know how to just do fact check with the information that I get through social media. The alt news is one of the, we can say, reliable resources that I can cross check with. But how many of us are aware of the alternate way to cross check it or cross validate it? So those kind of challenges also there. We are targeting or we are focusing on the school kids. That's very important thing to be considered, because the grassroots level we have to expect some change. So we have to cultivate good things, in the grassroots level, so people can differentiate what is good, what is not good. Then third very important thing, the last presenter, yes, sir, pointed out the ethics, digital ethics. I just asked this question to Sir. Elon Musk, who is the key person behind OpenAI, is he an ethical person? That is one. Second thing, since we are talking about technology, the ill effects of using technology, all kinds of things. But at the same time, as a responsible citizen of this nation, do I have any option not to use mobile phone? We are talking about usage of different application sites and other things which steal data from me without my knowledge or with my permission. That's my ignorance. Or maybe willingly I just give my data to them, use it the way you want, I don't mind, I don't care, kind of thing. They make more out of money, that's a different case. But for me, my satisfaction is required. I want to use the app, I use it, that's all. So what's happening behind it, I don't mind. So that kind of people also there. So the question here is, instead of blaming the technology, we have to ask ourselves, we are closely connected with what is called the digital technology. We do have any choice to ignore that? I don't think so. So those kind of challenges that we have to address it very clearly. And say, for example, the reason why I said mobile phone usage, even if you go to during pandemic time, I visited the passport office. They told me to install an application to check whether my area is COVID free or not. If I don't have mobile phone, then I don't have option to get into the premises. So that much we are closely connected with technology. Even government also, whether state government or central government, they are imposing their ideas on us. You have mobile phone, then only you'll get all these privileges, or otherwise you will not get. And we are talking about data leaks. We are talking about information stealing and all kinds of issues also. So these issues also should be addressed in the forum like this. So these are my common concerns. Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Professor Anubhuti, quick response.
Yeah, I think these are not the questions. These are the observations, and very valid observations. All the point, I listened to all the points very carefully. And in fact, what you're saying is absolutely right. When we are talking about technology, we just can't say that, okay, there is an alter way of living without technology. It is there, and we have to live with the technology. And the whole premise of media and information literacy is that how to use this technology responsibly. So as I said before, of course, like, there is a long way to go. In fact, like, when we are talking about India, it's a huge population. A lot of people might not have access to it. Those who have access to it also, they're not digitally literate. So as I said in my presentation, merely having digital skills won't serve the purpose, right? So you have to go beyond that. What all you can do? For example, he talked about privacy. So, like, what are the things which we have to do, and what are the things which we have to switch off, when we are using Google? I usually, like, switch off my location, because I don't want anybody to trace, like, where I am. So this is something which we have to tell students also. And you rightly said that it has to start at a very early level. And this is what I want to share with you, that till now, when we talk about media literacy, we used to talk about the students who were in grade 11th and 12th. Recently we did one a book for CBSE, and here what we are doing is we are actually introducing this particular concept for the students from class 7th to class 9th. Of course, I know that it's needed much before that, but that's the age which we have taken. And everything, when we are talking about fact checking, I mean, it should not be limited to journalists or media teachers or media students. Anybody, if a student comes across a WhatsApp message, that student should be able to fact check that. So this is like what our initiatives are. but yes, a long way to go. But the questions and the observations which you have made, they're very valid, and such kind of observations and questions will actually show a path to all those who are working in the field of media and information literacy. And thank you for listening to all the presentations very carefully. Thanks.
Professor Bhavna?
I said same way I want to say was like, I mean, we have to use the technology responsibly because we cannot ignore it. I mean, it's part of our day-to-day life. And if we talk about the digital media literacy, I mean, yes, as Wong was talking about it, that digital literacy is part of it. And if we talk about mil is an umbrella term basically. I mean, there are many things like computer literacy is there, news literacy is there, media and information literacy is a big thing, a big platform. So we cannot ignore it. The only thing is the awareness. As much as we will be aware of it, and the second thing which I really want to basically appeal is we have to take media literacy out of the classrooms among masses. As you told, like when we talk about the media education, it is not specifically for the media professionals. I mean, it is for common people, it is for political awareness, it is for vibrant democracy. And for this, people need to be media aware, need to be media literate. And for that, we have to think about the initiatives, small initiatives where people should come forward and should join hands together, where academicians, students, and all should come together and work on that particular mode. And if we talk about India, so what I think is like Indian are very jugadu. So when people will realize that it is important for us, I mean, we need to be media literate, they will arrange it. So the very first thing is like we have to work as an appetizer at the moment, because media literacy in India is at a very nascent stage, at a very nascent stage. Most of the people even have the confusion, like they basically think that media education is the media literacy, while both of the things are quite different. So I think we have to go a long way.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That very few of us are doing media education. What we are doing is training people to be adept in the different media professions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Dr. Lai, a quick response. I think she is not there. Dr. Shukla, just give me a minute.
You asked that Elon Musk is a unethical person or ethical person. First, you started with this statement. Actually, he is so much ethical that he can say that AI is the biggest challenge for the society in coming years. He is so much ethical in that scenario. And one more thing, I have totally in the whole presentation, I have focused on one thing: the technology creators and the technology users both should take the humanity in the center rather than using it here and there. You have talked about malinformation, misinformation, fact checking, and other things. Yes, a lot of things are coming into consideration too. People are having a lot of fact checking tools now available, and they are doing it. Only don't forget the basic rule of the journalism, which is 5 Ws and 1 H. Whenever you got that news, just ask 5 questions to yourself: that particular news is correct or not, from where it comes from, when it is created. So by only with that particular journalism rule, you can fight with that misinformation, manic of the misinformation, rather than forwarding it from one group to another group. Okay, I'm not said anywhere that you should not use the technology. You should stop using technology. I have said that you have to use technology in a manner that the society at its whole and the individual, you should be benefited with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla. Yeah. Okay, let's wind up very quickly with a few
Good
reflections.
afternoon, everyone. Sir,
Yeah.
I have one quick question. Can I
Yes,
ask?
yes, yes, please do.
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone for the informative session. Actually, I have one question to Anubhuti ma'am. Ma'am, you were talking about the government interventions and the NGOs and the social work which are doing like in the field of media literacy education. But I have one question, like you were replying to the last questions, like What is the status of digital literacy education in schools? Like recently, NEP has mentioned about digital literacy in schools, but what I found that it's mostly an elective course which is optional, not mandatory for everyone. But school is a place where children learn how to live a meaningful life, I can say. So, what is the status of digital literacy education in schools? That is my first question. And the second question is like in NEP, we saw that they are mostly focusing on digital literacy education. But India is still thriving in other parts of media, in other domain of media equally. So is it justified as well, or we are just focusing on digital literacy in media literacy education? So that is my second question. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I got both of your questions and very genuine questions coming from a student. What is the status of digital literacy in India, especially in school education? So I just wanted to point out, if you're not aware, that the NCRT has worked on ICT curriculum, and this curriculum is both like it's available online also, and the teachers are also responsible to deliver this particular curriculum in the schools across the country. So not only like only CBSE schools, also like all the government, state government schools also. So this is one which is happening. Another very important thing which is happening, and that is something which is done by the Central Institute of Educational Technology, NCRT. They are training teachers in ICT. See, for example, if you're talking about digital literacy, and if you're saying that all the students need to be digitally literate, first, I think teachers have to be digitally literate, right? And how digital skills and different information and communication technologies can be used in different subjects. For example, if you are studying maths, so how to integrate these technologies with mathematics as a subject, or social science, or languages. So I would suggest to see like what kind of work which is being done and the kind of impact it is having. Go to NCRT YouTube channel and see like what all programs are being made by Central Institute of Educational Technology, right? My experience with them, because just 2 weeks before we did one session, or like it was a series of sessions on media and information literacy, and I was surprised that we keep talking about media and information literacy, but within 1 hour we were able to reach more than 10,000 teachers with this particular concept. So a lot of things are happening at national level, and of course, like sometimes what happens that we might not be aware of it, but all those programs, everything is available there. Just have a look at it. Another thing which they have done to promote digital literacy or ICT literacy is to initiate this award which is called innovative use of ICT in education. Till now we only had the best teachers award, that's a national teachers award. But because we felt that a lot of things are being done using ICT tools, so these are the new awards that has been initiated. And of course, all those teachers who participate in this, they share their experiences. They also tell us like what exactly are they doing in schools. So I'm part of jury. At times I'm surprised, the teachers who are in media education might not be using the information technology the way these school teachers are using. And in one of the Man Ki Baat, Mr. Modi had mentioned one teacher who had actually created number of apps for his students. So a lot of things are happening in this particular area. And as I said, it's a long way to go. I mean, it's a journey, right? We can't say that, oh, we have reached that point. We can never say that. So it's a long journey, and a lot of work has been done in this. Another question which you have asked is like about the mention of digital literacy, but there is no mention of media and information literacy there in national education policy. You're absolutely right. And I really admire this fact that you have read national education policy and you tried to find out media and information literacy there. In fact, those who are researching in this area, at one moment I was also like sort of dissatisfied, and I had my issues that why isn't there in the national education policy. But see, if you look at national education policy and if you read it, there's mention of critical thinking at number of places, right? And what does media and information literacy means? Media and information literacy is critical thinking, right? So for those who are working, those who want to initiate debate, dialogue on this, should look at, those two terms, which is critical thinking, which is also in essence for media and information foundation for media and information literacy. I hope I've answered both of your questions.
See, there's also the question of regulation, not just self-regulation, but also regulation at the state and the national and even at the United Nations level, at the international level. And there have been some efforts. For example, there's the GDPR in Europe. There's the Communication Decency Act in United States, and in our own country, we are gradually. This is being discussed now, a digital bill. But this, of course, has to be this regulation should be in independent hands, not in the hands of the government. And that's the danger of a digital bill for India. Yeah. Let's conclude. I think if there are any more questions, because we can go on and on. I endorse all that the speakers have said so far. But the stress should not just be on personal or educationist responsibility, but also the responsibility of the state to control hate speech, which is poisoning our society, creating a kind of pluralism, rumors that affect workers, that affect young people, cyberbullying. All these are big issues which have to be taken up at the state and the national level. I'm afraid we are not doing very much in that regard. Yeah. So thank you all very much. And I think we now wind up and have a lunch break and maybe go on then to the next session after the break. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. And it's nice, interacting with you after such a long time. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, speakers, for the enlightening session. We are honored to have you present at ISMER 2023.